Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. Hope you're all having a wonderful and creative day. And today I'm here to make some projects with simple circles. I have a circle punch here. And of course, did I measure it? No. Let's see. I have cut a couple out already. It is 1 3/4. 1 3/4 punch. If you don't have a punch, you can use circle things. Like this is a top to a coffee. We'll draw around that. I've got my gesso. I've got a round baseball stamp. So you can use something to trace out circles for that. I probably wouldn't suggest for this project anything less than the like 1 3/4, 2 inch would probably be great. 2 1/2 if you have, but the only other circle one I have is a tiny little one. Not gonna work. Okay, so I have chosen papers that are thicker for this project. So I have my floral cutoffs from the Floral Journal, and I've got a couple others. These are from Hobby Lobby, paper series from Hobby Lobby. This I believe is an old Joann's and Hobby Lobby, and this is a really old one. So I actually even fallen apart. That I tracked down. It's great stuff. It kind of reminds me of some old Tim Holtzy stuff, but it's a die cuts with a view, I believe. Old one, but really, I think this is a Crafter's Companion. These are double-sided. They don't have to be double-sided. They can be double-sided for mixing and matching, but not for the project. Okay, so let's get, I have cut a few out already, and we'll show what I'm planning on doing, and then we'll cut some of our own and put them on to their intended project. So I have this. I've used, like I said, the circle stamp. I cut a couple out of this one. These are both from Old World, I believe. Yeah, they were both from that. So what I'm going to do, I want to have one of these from over here too. All right, so you need 3 circles for this. If you want to mix and match, you can use 2 if you don't want to mix and match. But what we do need is scissors or a trimmer, and I'm going to cut these. I'm going to use these as the base, and I'm going to use these as the toppers. And actually, I'm going to reverse my thought here. I'm going to do that. Okay, so we are going to take and we're going to cut in half 2 of the toppers. And I do have a bone folder just to give me a better place to cut, but not necessarily. If I wanted to measure, I could. If I want to eyeball half, I could. But I find the best way to do this is to fold it in half, find the split, and give it a cut. So we're going to cut these in half. Oops. Now, if they're not exactly in half-half, that is okay. It will not ruin the project, but half-half is a good thing. All right, so let's cut this one. And this one. Okay, so easy peasy. What we're going to do is we're going to take our circles, and we are going to put half a circle and half a circle on this one and this one. We're going to do that half and that half. Now, of course, we have other ones that if we wanted to make a third one, we can use the hole punch. What I like to do also when I'm cutting for the hole punch is if I can direct what I want, doing it this way to make sure I have something that I like to see, like that flowers in the center. And we're going to do that one and that one. Okay, I could cut one more big circle, but for now we're going to just live with it. Now, if you want to ink these, I would do that before, and because you want the, can't really ink the centers after they're glued on. We can ink the outside after it's all glued, but okay. So there is no right or wrong to this. Which layer goes on top, which goes on the bottom. It's just your opinion, your thought. All right, so we're just going to put the glue on the outside, and we are going to glue this to the outside of the circle. And we're going to do the same with this one. Oops. And you don't want to put it too far up because we're going to tuck something in there. You just want to put it so that there is a overlap. Now there is room to do it a little bit less, a little bit more. Really depends on what you want to do. But I find doing it like that makes a fairly good one. Now I can ink the whole thing. Again, optional. And then you can have a little ticket kind of thing or something and be able to put it in there, and you have a little place to put something. I got my other little tickets like that. Cute, right? Okay, I'm going to glue these two together, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to use these on 2 other projects. All right, I am back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add one of these circles to a pocket. Now these are the pre-made master boards that I have. I actually have some on my Ko-fi account. They are just random makes of master boards. I have slimmed this down to about 4 1/4. Or, sorry, 5 1/4, which would fit better on a page. They are 6 inches long to start with, so I did cut a little bit off. I'm going to throw a bit of a thumb hole on here. Not too centered. What else is new? And we can go ahead and put this on there. Now I just want to add something else to it, so add a floral. Actually, oh, I like that one. Okay, you're too light. Okay, let's do that one. So we are just gonna add a little floral. Cut off the leaves a little bit and put that in there as an extra place to be able to tuck something into the pocket. I think I might add a little bit of washi tape down there. All right. Just add a little bit of breaking that apart. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and glue that down. Oops. All right, so we're gonna leave the glue off the leaves a bit, since we're going to cut those off. All right, we are going to glue this full thing down for this application, but for other applications we could also glue this on, since it's stronger, as its own little side tuck onto something. I think I'm going to do that when I make the bigger ones, just because they'll have a little bit more room to hold a pocket or a tag in. I was going to say it's not glued, but it's not meant to be glued. So we got the little ticket in there, the flowers, little washi, masterboard, and you have a cute little pocket. Okay. The next thing we're going to make is a little side tuck for these. And I'm going to take, I've got these strips of scrap paper, and we're just going to glue them as a random kind of collection of strips. These are thicker papers, not too thick, but definitely have a bit of thickness to them. And we want to create a long enough cluster so that we can, oops, go straight, so that we can put it on the side of a page. Put this one up here. Sometimes I'm just randomly putting glue places. All right. Okay, get in there. All right, so this is going to go on here, and I think I want to, I don't like the injunction or the crossing of that particular That's not too bad. I don't want it to go sideways. Everything's going up and down. I want to keep it up and down. I'm going to use this because it covers the whole thing. All right, back. All right, so this is just going to go on to here, and I'm going to glue it fully down again. And once again, we have a little place to be able to stick a little tag, and you're too big. I just happen to see that sitting there. There's some random stuff in here. You almost fit. I'd have to decorate it, but I don't need the little butterflies. Just gonna trim the edges off a little bit. A little place to journal something, a little place to stick the tag, and let me get a piece of paper to show you what I'm talking about. So this would go on the edge. I have to trim it down a little bit for this page, but this would go on the edge of a page, and once it is glued down, top or bottom, you glue either side, glue it on that side, glue it on this side. Once it is glued down, then you can take whatever you have and be able to use it as a little side tuck. and it's got just a little decoration just to make it good. Now we can still decorate this a little bit more. Put some labels on here, like one of my colored labels would be fun. Let's put that. I got the orange and the orange. Just needs to be trimmed a little bit. And we'll take off the corners. And ink. And glue. Put a little washi tape on there before you put the circle, going up the seams. Just you know how to decorate, right? But it's just a cute little embellishment to throw onto a little flip tuck. All right. So the other idea I had was I had this laying around, and I said, well, this would be cute. Get my strips out of the way here. On this, I found this was from one of my cutouts, and I just cut it down to fit into that circle, and I'm gonna glue it down completely. And then this is going to go into here, and I'm going to glue this down completely also. And a little ticket in there. How cute is that? Right? Simple. It's a little journal card that can go into somewhere. I did use one of these in the floral journal. I glued it down and it became a side tuck. So this could also be glued onto a page and become its own little side tuck. Cute, right? It's just a little something. All right, so let's make a couple bigger ones and show what those can do. Now I have cut some out already because, you know, time. So I have them here. Now what I did is I did use the gesso to do around the bottom, and let me just show you, as I have this here, and I'll use the coffee cap because it's about the same size. So I just found a circle that I liked and lay it down. I suggest to lay it down on the back side because you're gonna draw around it. Now you can use whatever you want to draw around it, pencil, pen. I just happen to have a pen, and we're just gonna draw. Oops, shift it a little. And it doesn't have to be pretty because you are gonna cut around it, and the other side is what shows. That's why I do it this way. Now, if you really want to draw and make sure you got something in there, I would suggest you could use a pencil and then cut the line away. If you do it this way, you don't have to necessarily cut the line away. Now, a couple hints to cut circles is I cut straight right along the four, I'm gonna call it corners. They're not really corners because it's a circle, but if you think about a circle as like a compass where you have north, south, east, west, you cut along those four sides and you have a little bit more control over how you cut it. Now, the best way to cut is to turn the paper and just pinch the scissors, and since you've cut the two north, south, east, west sides, you are just cutting between the two corners and not the full circle, and you can get a nice fell swoop. You have a better chance of these circles looking circly. They're not going to be perfect like when you cut out of these, because no matter what you try, no matter how you go, it's just a little bit off, but pretty darn good. Actually did pretty good with that circle. Now, of course, these were cut from the gesso, so they are a bit bigger. But what I would need to do is then cut 2 more circles from the coffee cap to make my half circles. Okay, so same principle. I cut a big circle and then I have cut two small ones, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the glue. I should try to do a little bit better about getting it to the end, but now some of these were cut from, I had laying around just cut-offs from, I think it was the yellow journal where I did the map flip book. These were cut-offs from that I had laying around. Now, as you can see, because of human manipulation, this circle ended up being just a tad smaller than this one. So what I'm going to try to do is make sure that that is then covered with this and make it look a little bit better. And again, it's a little bit off, but handmade. All right, so I'm gonna swivel this down a little bit because I realize I don't want to go too far up. Same with the little ones we did. The more, easier to see on this, the more that you do the circle that way, the smaller your spot is to put stuff in. The more you angle it this way, the more space you have to be able to put a tag in. So you find a happy medium and you have a place to now be able to, of course I don't have one sitting there, be able to put a nice, fairly large tag in there. All right, so let's glue these other two. And I'll show you how we're going to play with these. All right, so the big ones are done. And what you can do is, if they're a little off, because they're overhanging or something, you can come back if you want to and just trim it down so they're even. You see it's sticking out a little bit. And make them even. Again, it's not necessary, it's handmade, but if it bothers you that you can see it, by all means go back and trim it. It's not going to be perfect, but in the end, I don't think you can really tell too much. And if you can, don't say a word. All right, just throw a little ink on there because it is white core paper. And there. All right, so the first thing you can do with that is put it as a side tuck in a journal. And I've got the flower journal here, and since these are flowers, let's see if we can find a place that we want to put it. Well, that would be cute. I like it. Green and red. Yeah, so I'm gonna make sure that that is up, and we are gonna go from, we're gonna go just from there to there. All right, I realize it's a little bit, there we go. Should have been a little bit more that way, but that's okay. The V's a little bit wonky. And like I said, you can stick something like that in there. I do have one of these left. Something smaller. I think I'll go with something smaller. It's not really necessary to cover the whole thing up, but yeah, I don't mind that. And again, some things we tuck in there. We can, I go back to the tickets because they are fun to put in these. too many big tickets left. I got a lot of little ones though, which is good because I got little tags. Not a fan. I can find something else for that. Yeah, cute. All right, so you can put it on its own, or you can add it to a tag on its own. I found this, and it is a regular tag. This I made a long time ago, and I just used some inks to it and then stamped on there. I believe it was a big washi board kind of thing, and then I cut it down. Make that one better. So it is really going to be its own. Since this is the whole width of it, we are going to, I'm going to glue the bottom U, and we can make this a double. I did it again. There we go. Make this a double tag. Tag punch, and the little one on the bottom. All right, so we have interesting. We have a tag and a tag within a tag, and something smaller for that. Let's see if one of these would fit. It would. Oh, is that the one I want? It's got a hint of blue around it. Oh, I like that one. Okay, let's go with that. I like it. So we got, this could go onto, again, a journal page, and you can attach it onto the journal page, and be able to have another card that goes behind there. Yeah, that'd be cute. I actually like it on that page. Yeah, that's pretty. I think I'm going to attach it. Okay, so we need to attach these two sides. This is just a piece of scrapbook paper I had laying around from another project, and just grabbed it because I had a coffee dye piece of paper laying around somewhere I was using earlier, but oh, there it is. Under some stuff. But that's okay. This worked out well because now I have a pre-made page that I can stick into a journal. Can do some fun stuff on that side. But yeah, cute, right? Like I said, all I need to do is figure out some sort of journal card to stick in there at some point. I love it. Okay. Well, I think that is going to be it for this. I do have this to be able to go one more spot, but I think I've come up with quite a few fun ideas to use these circles for. So let's recap, as they say, what we have accomplished. All right, so I made some earlier too, so I can show you the different things that I made. So we made the little ones with the pocket. It's flower, so I had made one earlier. This had a pocket. I used one of the paint chips and just put a little sticker on there to make as a tag. Add a little bird to it, so there's another pocket. This again was another master board. You saw the side page trim. This could have also been a belly band or just added to a tall journal card. Like I said, it can be trimmed down a little bit to have it fit wherever it needs to go. One thing I did on this one, and I'll show you, is I did nip the edges a little bit just to give it a softer look. And this is just a folded piece of this, and I added just a little sticker to that one. Fairly simple, but again, this can be easily put onto a page and glued in. And we have this, which is a little journal card where we attached the little one too. So that was fun. And then we have, of course, I just lost it because I shut the book. All right, so we have this one where we put the circle right on there. I still have to add something into there for that. But what I was also thinking was this would probably be a great color with this journal. There's a little side tuck on one of these beige pages. Not that this is not getting full, but yeah, like right there. All this red and beige, a little bit of flower. Can have it stick out a little bit. I won't have it stick out a little bit because it's plain. If it was double-sided, I would definitely do that. All right, so let us add some glue. I am going to put glue on all the edges, but not across. I'm just going to do that. And we're going to glue it right to the edge. And it is a little bit taller than the page, but that is okay. Whoops, slide, don't slide. All right, make sure there's no glue on that side. I want to glue it to that bird. Yeah, so now we have a place to be able to tuck a tag, and it's a cute little decoration. I like it. Okay, well that is going to be it for me on this. I really do like these. I think they're fun to make, circles, and again, you can make them any size you want. Just add the little divots to it, or the little circles to it. There it is. I'm like, I lost my half one. Cut the circle, cut a couple more, put them on an angle, and you have a fun place to tuck something in. Use it as a decoration. Use it as something functioning as a pocket, someplace to tuck things. Very versatile. All right, well that is going to be it for me today. I hope you liked that video. If you did, a thumbs up would be great. Any comments or questions you have, I would appreciate it if you leave that below. Okay, well, I hope to see you next time in this video. And as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.